Welcome back, NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today we got a new marathon by JK. Let's check it out. This is called Music from Legends, and this is all people that are pretty much, that are legends in music, and they're still doing it today. So these are all 2024 releases, 2023. And it says here, there's a little bit of text. So it says, Nick, how about some brand new songs for a change? These are all legendary artists who are still putting out great new music, and they've still got it. And then he says, I hope it doesn't get blocked. So yeah. So soon after they were released, taking the risk. Let's check it out. I have hope that with the intro, and then some of these artists are Warner Brothers, which are pretty cool. They don't care about their stuff being promoted here on the channel. So I think I hope it, Peter Gabriel. Okay, let me go through the list here. So we're gonna do Live by the Sword by the Rolling Stones. This features Elton John plus their old bass player Bill Wyman and the late great Charlie Watts on drums. From the album Hackney Diamonds 2023, Live by Thy Sword, the Rolling Stones. Let's check it out. Now, after that is Sheryl Crow, Alarm Clock from the album Evolution 2024, this year. Wow, crazy. Then we have Two Pairs of Hands by Mark Knopfler, one of my all-time favorite guitar players, honestly, from the album One Deep River 2024. Then we got Richard Thompson with What's Left to Lose from the album Ship to Shore 2024, and the legendary Peter Gabriel. This is Four Kinds of Horses from the album I.O. This is what I saw. This is what we saw live, the I.O. album. 2023, the full version. And he says, enjoy. So yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, if the worst thing that can happen is that it gets blocked and then I have to put it up on Patreon. But I mean, at least you will be able to see it. Let me just do this. I don't know if you heard that. But so here we go with the Stones, and that is so crazy. A band that started so early, when was it, in the 60s? Let me just look at their album real quickly, like at all their stuff, just to let that sink in. 1964, literally when the Beatles were around. That's crazy, and they're still going. Wouldn't that be a crazy thing if the Beatles were still going today? I think that's one of the bands, I mean the bigger bands that I know that have been around the longest, because this was even 20 years before Metallica, or all right, so yeah, let's check them out, and let's take the risk. If it gets blocked, then oh well, we'll be able to watch it regardless. Okay, so here we go with these Stones, Live by the Sword, and have fun. Thank you so much again for being here. Of course, if you like the video, please do subscribe, leave a comment, maybe a thank you to JK for sponsoring the video. I do appreciate it very, very much. And let's go. Crazy. Very good. Like I mean they oh wow, they're gonna be in town in 8 days. And before that in Cleveland. So they're on tour. And I mean it, you guys, if you've known them since 1964, when you were maybe teenagers, I don't know. And then what do you think about the song? Like, what do you think about the music now? I think it sounds amazing. And it's the same, it's the style, it's their style. Why change? Why, if you have the formula down, and it has worked for 60 years and that you're still relevant after all that time, why change anything? I mean, it still has the harmonica, it still has, the rock and roll, chord progression, and yeah, the piano, and then the lead guitar kicks in over the last minute and a half, and it's just a formula that just works. It's I really liked it. I'm not like the biggest Stones fan, but I do know like some earlier work of theirs has really surprised me, because I did see them when I was very, very small. I saw them live, and but I mean, I don't really remember anything. But I mean, there are these songs, Give Me Shelter, Sympathy for the Devil, Angie, and all this stuff, and all the music I can get no satisfaction, all this music that you hear in movies that have made it. So, I mean, they have lasted, they're 30-year-old films, like Martin Scorsese, he uses the Stones very, very much. And those are just songs that are just in my mind. And they're super epic, so, but yeah, it's pretty much has been this style, maybe not exactly like this. This was very rock and roll, basic rock and roll, but Mick Jagger has an amazing voice. We have the rhythm and lead by Keith, and it just works, Those they were the two composers on this one. And yeah, it's very good, very, very good. I'm happy that they're still doing it. They're doing what they love, and what else you're gonna do, right? And but what the crazy thing is that they're still touring at that age, like it must be tough, like I don't know if they take like breaks. Let's look at so it looks like they take like at least 3 days between, or sometimes 5 days. Yeah, that's normal. They do a show, 4 days off, do another show. Yeah, I mean, you can't do like, 2 shows or 3 shows, 4 shows a week like the younger folks, All right, so this was awesome. So Sheryl Crow, I got introduced to Sheryl Crow by my dad. And not really introduced like, hey, check out this, this girl. But it would always come from his room, and he was like, oh, this girl is like amazing. And she's like in the music business, and she knows all the music legends. And I'm just such a fan. And I'm like, okay, I wasn't really into that sort of music myself. I was in my metal phase. So it was obviously, but now when I listen to stuff by Sheryl Crow, it makes me, I get a little nostalgic. Especially there's one album, the one, If It Makes You Happy, the song. When I hear that, I get choked up a little bit. So this is Sheryl Crow, Alarm Clock. All right, so here we have the full release, Evolution 2024. I had the, just a single pulled up. Here we go with Alarm Clock, the album opener. Here we go.
Sunset in the rearview on the me begging, please put this day out of this misery. Cause when I finally fall asleep, it's a beautiful life. Blow your mind and make you say, ah. When I open my eyes, baby, that's when the dreams stop. That's why I hate my, that's why I hate my, that's why I hate my alarm clock. That's why I hate my, that's why I hate my, that's why I hate my alarm clock. That's why I hate my alarm clock. That's why I hate my alarm clock.
Oh, that just like I totally forgot it was gonna stop. Well, yes, it's not my cup of tea. It sounded very of the times, like I guess she wants to, which is completely normal. It sounded more like music from today, but with her, she still has that melodic, approach, I don't know, like it's like a little tail, and then comes like a really nice, middle section that she usually sings very well. Like, I mean, it says here, I looked it up, and the album received mostly positive reviews, which is, I mean, it's great music, but it's not, I don't know, like I like her older stuff, I guess, more, but I'm not a Sheryl Crow enthusiast or like connoisseur. I just know a couple of songs, and I think I like her 2000s, I guess, or 90s, late 90s stuff, just because I know it. This seemed like I wouldn't have recognized that it was her. There was some very like, I don't know if she, I think she wouldn't use that, like when she went really high, it sounded a little bit, like too much effect on the voice, but hey, that's just my taste, I think it was a very good song, and but yeah, it's the only album. It says it was a commercial failure. Ooh, and peaked at number 90. Her lowest charting album to date. Well, I mean, I guess it just happens, you write some better stuff. You write, what's the last one? 2019. I did like it. It was very catchy, but it was very, it sounded like a little bit like the music of, 2020, 2020 is like 2015. And, I didn't hate it, but, it's not like, I wouldn't like listen to this on my own time, I just have to be honest, this is what I love about the channel. I can be honest, even though if I get criticized, too bad. I mean, I do love her stuff, the old stuff. I mean, if I go on her, All I Want to Do, it's amazing. That is like Sheryl Crow, but that's 93, that's it. I mean, it just changes. This is 30 years ago, If It Makes You Happy, oh man, that's such a good song. Yeah, 1996. So I'm sometimes, I guess in this is the section where I am like you guys, with the old Genesis and the new Genesis, you're just like, it's not as good anymore, but it's not bad, so I do want to. Now this one is going to be I'm going to pay a lot of attention to, because this guy here, Mark Knopfler, he's literally one of my favorite guitar players of all time, and I've heard Dire Straits, the first album, maybe 200 times. So I mean, I know every single note. I've pretty much learned the entire album, I had the book, I had all the music, so I've learned all of his. I've learned so much guitar from Mark Knopfler, his style, you know, and even playing with, you know, just with my thumb, you know, that's all from him. When I do it, you know, because it is a different sound. So here we go with the Two Pair of Hands, One Deep River 2024. I'm sure this is gonna be amazing because it's Mark. Let's see.
Pining along, the power and the glory with the song. Holy moly, where did the time go? I told you, baby, now you know. I'm keeping the balls in the air when I'm up here on the bank. There'll be a little bit here and there. Still be trying to understand it, but they'll all be in the air when I'm up here on the band. What it is, I'm juggling here. I've only got 2 pairs of hands. There's a pin drop to follow a thread, and a low voice cries out overhead. When the thunder bursts in the velvet night, there's joy and wonder and delight. I'm keeping the balls in the air, trying to keep up with the band. There'll be a little bit here and there. I might get caught by the drifting sand, but they'll all be in the air when I'm up here on the band. What it is, I'm juggling here. I've only got 2 pairs of hands. Back in the streets and into the bars.
I'm sorry, but this is just amazing. I mean, Mark Knopfler could, for all I care, he could be singing out of a phone book. It doesn't matter. I mean, with that voice, that coolness, you know, that he has obviously a lot of J.J. Cale like vibes. I think, you know, that guitar, you know, the way that effect he has on that. I have my own like Mark Knopfler effect, and it pretty much sounds like this. You know, it's a very clean guitar with a lot of reverb and some delay, and just very warm. And you know, and you play any lick you play sounds just fantastic. I mean, if he plays it even more, but I mean, there's like this whole the rhythm. You know, this whole almost like train locomotive kind of like, you know, rhythm that he has going, and he has such a cool right hand that, you know, what he does on like the first album, you know, like Sultans of Swing. You know, we all know this almost like Western, you know, type rhythm, and I always thought that Dire Straits were American because it has such a southern vibe, this album. And then I figured out they were from the UK, and I was like complete shock. Yeah, this guy, you know, I mean, Mark Knopfler, I'm sorry, but he can literally do whatever. It's gonna sound like gold, like, you know, for me, you know, I'm just a fanboy, you know. All right, let's go back. But I mean, honestly, I'm sure everyone is going to like this. What's not to like?
In the streets and into the bars, the trams and the trains back in their cars. Holy moly, where did the time go?
So simple yet so good. So beautiful. Bing ding. Dun, dun, dun. You know? I mean, you know, he didn't even play like a guitar solo. It was more like, you know, this repeating lick, but it's so smooth, and this whole like rhythm, the guitar, the chord progression here is so, oh, man, it's so easy to digest. But this voice, you know, he has such a soothing voice, and I guess it's getting deeper and deeper. I mean, he's had this voice since 1977 or whenever the first album came out, you know, and it's just a great voice, you know, and his style. And I think wasn't he like one of the most sought after guitar players. I mean, heck, even Steely Dan, you know, they hired him, which is, I just listened to, it's so funny. Yesterday we were playing Monopoly, and I put on Gaucho, and we listened to the whole album. And again, in Time Out of Mind, wasted opportunity, completely wasted. I mean, it's a great song, but there's just not enough Mark on there, you know. They should have really taken advantage that they had him, you know. I know they have worked with one of the best guitar players in the biz, you know, but Mark is Mark, you know. Mark Knopfler is big, and they should have, I guess they didn't know at the time, you know, it was 1980 when he was just up and coming. But yeah, they should have, like, they should have taken that tone, you know, and that talent, and put more on the record. Because I guess the fact that he didn't know how to read music, he was looked down upon. That's not, I don't know. It's sad, you know, that was the problem, you know, that he didn't was like as academically prepared. But I mean, look at him, you know. That's the thing sometimes with musicians. Most of my favorite musicians don't know any music, you know. At least they don't know how to read, which is, you know, it's not a guitar thing, you know, to read. You know, I just read because I learned how to read in school, because I had to, but I've never really applied it. Yes, I don't like tabs, you know, because it shows you like a position on the neck that sometimes completely off. So when you read, you can pretty much find your own notes. And for me, it's just way better. But yeah, it's just like not a thing. It's more for like piano and, you know, air instruments, you know, violin, cello, classical music, jazz, you know, I guess, you know, the chords. I mean, you at least have to know how to read the chords, I guess. But well, you know, music is music. I just like sometimes like I've seen that most of my favorite musicians, they don't know how to read or write music, you know. I mean, even Vangelis didn't know music. I mean, listen to him. There's so many great musicians that don't know what they're doing, but they just know the music in their heart and in their head, you know. They don't know how to put it on the paper. But it's not really necessary. It's a great tool, but you don't have to. This one definitely for me is the winner for now, you know. It's not a competition, but I just love Mark Knopfler. Okay, Richard Thompson. Here we go, Richard Thompson. What's Left to Lose? Also, 2024. Let's see what he's up to. All right, here we go.
Goodbye, false hope. Goodbye, cruel meeting. You left me for dead, with my heart still beating. What do I do to kill the ache? How many drops of comfort do I take? walked all day just to stop my memory, but I saw you still, my loving enemy. And the rain came down and soaked me through, but I felt nothing but the warmth of you. What's left to lose? Everything I cared about is gone. What's left to lose? When there's nothing, how do I carry on? I left my life when I shut the door. I'll start again in another place. New faces to replace your face. One day I won't miss you anymore. And you left my life when you shut the door. I'll start again in another place. New faces to replace your face. One day I won't miss you anymore.
Very good. All right, let's try and cut it off here. So I made this stupid comparison some months ago, or maybe a year ago or something, because I did an entire marathon, and Richard Thompson, and I was like, oh man, he sounds like Mark Knopfler, and people lost their cool. But it was the only one I could compare to that had this style, and I know that he's been around longer than Mark, so everybody was like, no, Mark isn't actually got inspired by Richard, and so I get it, I think they're both very, very different and unique and great, so this was just fantastic. I mean, he's 75 years old, doing this. He's living the dream, he shouldn't even care, anymore, because it's so expensive to make a record, and it's not really, it's a weird time because right now to make an album is so expensive, and he's on tour as well, so cool. So actually not in the area, but he's playing tonight in Woodstock. That's crazy. Woodstock. Oh no, that's July. Okay, July 12th, Woodstock. But yeah, I guess it's so expensive, I mean, it's more expensive to tour, but it's also, if you have a large audience, you make some money. But for smaller artists, it's really expensive right now. For a genre that's not so, sought after. Instrumental guitar, I'm talking about like Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, stuff like that. People that are just like not as big. It's very hard to go on tour, and that's why also when they come here to Denver, it's usually it's in small venues, it's not really like, sometimes it's just little venues, theaters, but then yeah, there's bands that come here, but or arenas, but for example, we saw Peter Gabriel in a arena, like an ice hockey arena, pretty big. But I mean, then there's artists like Ed Sheeran, and they fill out the whole stadium, like, I don't know, 50,000 people. Yeah, some artists just don't get that kind of, following in one single city. But yeah, Richard Thompson, beautiful guitar, great vocals, great voice, just great everything, I think, are they the same age, like Mark Knopfler? I'm not comparing. Just want to see. Mark Knopfler. I mean, 74, so he's a year younger than Richard. I mean, they're both as influential as possible, everybody knows. I didn't know Richard Thompson, but I know that everybody knows Richard Thompson, and everybody knows Dire Straits and Mark Knopfler. And I just happen to know Mark Knopfler because my mom used to play a lot of Dire Straits in the house, and I was like, what is this music? This is good, like, this is, especially the solo and the double solo in Sultans of Swing. That was, I remember when I was unable to play that, and it was so difficult, and yeah, it's such great help, it was such a boost in technique. Okay, so Peter Gabriel, 4 Kinds of Horses, from the I.O. album. I hope I'm saying that correctly. /O, 2023. So I saw Peter Gabriel live with Alexia and Lee and Mike. Was a wonderful experience. He was a gentleman. He's a beautiful talker. Between each song, he would take a little pause and talk, and talk about things that are going on, and in the past, and it was just wonderful to watch the man. Tony Levin on stage, beautiful musicians, beautiful variety of musicians and talent. He had a percussionist, a drummer, saxophone, violin, like the whole thing. The whole shebang, and he's just so good. What an epic personality. Okay, so here we go. 4 Kinds of Horses. So maybe I've heard this before when I watched him live, but I wouldn't remember. I mean, it's been a while, and it's just one song. So let's see. Here we go. Peter Gabriel.
It all seems so simple, remarkably clear, like the darkest superhero. You will burst into our fear. They must have seen you looking, watched everything you said, knowing you could be a part of it. They fill your head. Come all the nights, oh, come all the days. So inaccessible in this land beyond the brilliant haze. Here is all your money, there is the load. This is how you travel if you live to see the world explode. I used to say you're something different, but you do it all again. everything. Well, they see you were born so bright. Oh, mother illusion, with your jacket of flames. Your face, it is everywhere. Such a dark, dark shade of fame. Come all the nights, oh, come all the days. So inaccessible in this land beyond the brilliant haze. And here is all your money, there is the load. This is how you travel if you live to see the world explode. I just say you're something different, but you do it all again. You think you're something different, but you do it all again, again and again, again and again.
Wow. I mean, what can you say? Peter Gabriel, he's one of the most influential musicians, I guess, of our time. I mean, Steve Gadd is on this album. Tony Levin, there's just principal musicians are like 30 people. Then we have the orchestral and choral musicians, which is another 100 people. Technical personnel, there's not a single person that doesn't want to work with this man. He's just so important to the music industry, and he's so creative. And I think I consider myself so lucky to have seen him live. I know you guys might have even seen him like with early Genesis, but this man is just on a musical level that's just like, it's like way up there, and I mean, also with him, like his voice, and he could be singing about anything, the music could be whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just very interesting. Everything he does is very inspirational, and it's soothing, it's professional, it's the best it can be. If you don't know, the first reaction we ever did on this channel was Peter Gabriel. I don't even know why we did that. It was just, I don't know. I think I saw something on Amazon like about the album. So it was like classic albums, and then it was a whole documentary. And so when we tried it, because it was literally just like the first video we ever did on this channel was just like, okay, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. Because for us, the whole concept of sitting in front of a camera, and reacting to music was bizarre, And so we sat down and we put on In Your Eyes, and suddenly I'm like, whoa, I'm getting very emotional. And you can see it, it's on the channel, and we have reacted to that reaction as well as an anniversary. But it's just like, wow, like this music is hitting very hard. But because for such a long time, I hadn't listened to music in this setting, with headphones that are very good and loud, and just like it just hit me in a different way. And actually, the way we heard the music was in front of the speakers. We didn't even have headphones on. We didn't know how that worked. And it just like, and Alexia, the way she reacted, she was singing along, and it was just very beautiful. And we were like, this is really a lot of fun, man. Like, we should do this more. And then we did it more. And now, we're almost at 100,000 subscribers. It's crazy. It's a blessing, because not just, did it give us like this beautiful family of people that really like, they write to us, there's 20-30 people that are like really engaged and really, part like a family, they're like, they send us their pictures and they tell us what they're doing. And, I have made friends that I cherish like a lot, that I have contact with every day, it's a blessing. So, and you guys, and it's like a second musical education, definitely. Because I mean, at the time I thought I knew a lot about music, and I didn't, I didn't at all. I mean, I knew about my progressive metal and, my jazz and stuff, but there's so much good music that I'd missed because we grew up in Mexico, and it's a little bit, and you live in a little bit of a bubble there, and it's like cut off from the rest of the world. And so yeah, so it was almost like a kind of like a blessing to live in that setting and then come out and then move here and then start this, It's so bizarre. That's why a lot of people also don't believe us, because they see all these instruments and it's like, how can you not know this, because I was listening to this, stuff like that. But yeah, this was amazing. Thank you so much, JK. This was great. All these musicians are obviously still doing amazing stuff. I mean, everything, the Stones, Sheryl Crow, Mark Knopfler, Richard Thompson, Peter Gabriel. I mean, they're legends, they can't do no wrong, So I think it's great to hear new music from these artists. It's still amazingly good, The only one that I was very honest, that didn't kind of like hit the mark was that one of the alarm clock. Maybe it's just that song. Maybe it was, it just didn't hit me as much as some other stuff that she's written hit me, But it was still great, It's Sheryl Crow. She's a legend. She can do whatever she wants, She's a successful, she has made millions, with her music. So who am I to criticize her? So, but yeah, I mean, just Peter Gabriel, he is like, he can do whatever he wants. I would listen to it. He could, like I said, with Mark Knopfler, he could be singing out of a phone book. Same goes for Peter Gabriel, Richard Thompson, the Stones. You know, I mean, they can't do no wrong. They're the Stones, man. You know? So this was awesome. Thank you so much. It was very interesting. Very, very cool. Because, I mean, I would be the one who would look for the earlier stuff, you know, just because I have to start somewhere. I wouldn't start with their later stuff. So this was nice. This was a nice change of pace to go backwards. Like, let's listen what they're doing now, you know? And sometimes I've said, yeah, there's no more good music and stuff, and there's no more good musicians. And I know it's false because there are still great musicians doing good music. The only thing is that it's not being played on the radio. You know, that's the only thing. Even these, you know, music giants, you have to go on a special station to get it. You know, it's just what's popular for the younger audiences. That music is just like not as, I guess, you know, it's not my cup of tea, you know. But hey, you know, so that's, I do retract that when I say there's no more good music, because I mean, we still have these legends releasing amazing music, and we have amazing musicians that are in their teens and 20s and 30s releasing amazing music. It's just like you have to look for it. You have to kind of like dig a little bit, but it's there. Again, JK, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Everyone, thank you for being here, for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next one.